Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 106th something or other episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I hope everyone has had such a good week, or at least not a bad week. I say this most episodes. Obviously, it's a lot of pressure if to have the best week every week. But I hope that at the very least, this week did not suck. Now, I'm coming to you live from a location I don't think I've ever podcasted before. I've podcasted near it, if you could call this a podcast. It's getting to the point where this is more of like a voice notes situation, but it's a crisp Wednesday morning. I have a bit of a different, schedule of my day than I normally do. I had a couple things to do, and I thought, hey, let me do a mobile episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. So, apologies if you hear background noises, I have a bit of a clicky knee these days, so if you hear some knee pops, don't worry, you don't have to duck for cover. It's my audio and it is my knee. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a few things, and I want you to kind of join along with me. So that's what this is. And if it sucks, I'll never do it again. And if it doesn't suck, I might never sit still and podcast again. So I figured if I could do an episode in traffic, I could do an episode in the kitchen. So I'll sort of talk through what I'm doing, but then also do a just regular round of complaining. So that's kind of my plan. Forgive me if the audio is a little bit, not jumpy, but if it sounds like I'm further away than I am, it might just be background noise. So first off on my to-do list is I'm making a smoothie bowl. I recently discovered the smoothie bowl. I'd always sort of known that they'd existed, but for some reason, sorry, there's just the taps going on to loosen up the smoothie bowl packet. I have a Trader Joe's, I never can pronounce this word, acai, bowl packet thing. So I'm making a smoothie bowl, which I think, I'm calling it now, will be the snack of the summer for 2024. Now, I've shared that opinion with a few different people, and they've let me know that, yeah, that is a snack of the summer of 2011. So, again, constantly behind the curve. Sort of how I've decided to live my life going forward is I'm going to stop trying to be ahead of the curve and just be so behind it that I'm almost a trendsetter, if that makes sense. I'm not going to try and set trends, but I will try to bring stuff back and maybe reintroduce some people to, the acai bowl. I feel like we haven't been talking about acai bowls a lot. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to sort of jump in. Okay, there's going to be a bit more noise. I'm really trying to get this organic acai puree packet, keep frozen, open. I need to watch more cooking shows. Cooking shows are fun. I think if I was a chef, I would definitely go the Food Network route. I don't know that I want to be in a hot kitchen preparing crudité. No, not crudité. I think crudité means veggie dip tray from Costco, but preparing soufflé. That seems extremely hot, especially with the hat and the jacket and the whole getup. But I could definitely do a Rachel Ray, specifically Rachel Ray, because I've watched her cooking show a few times, and she kind of she's sort of screaming at you, but that's how I learn. So that actually works for me. If anyone's going to teach me how to make a chicken piccata, it's Rachel Ray. Okay, this is not working. I'm going to grab some scissors. I can't find scissors. Scissors are the one thing that I'm never able to really locate. I feel like they just disappear. They walk up and they pick up and grow legs, which actually makes sense because they're sort of the one appliance, if you can call it that could technically walk because it has the two little, they could just alive one day, become fully conscious, or what's that word? Conscious, and just start tap, tap, tap. It could happen. Okay, let me look for my scissors real quick. One sec. Okay, I found them. That really wasn't that hard. Okay, so the instructions for the Trader Joe's acai bowl are as follows. You're supposed to take this packet. I bought it in a bigger, container thing. And it comes with I think 4 of these little packet things. And then you're supposed to crush it up and put it under water for 5 seconds and then throw it into your bowl. your bowl or your blender. Now, not to be chronically fancy, but I am using the Ninja Creamy thing. I don't know if I've talked about the Ninja Creamy. I have access to a Ninja Creamy. So I'm going to be making that, or using that as the vessel for my smoothie bowl. Okay, so I've added, this is going to be very like visual, but not because it's still audio. So I have like a pint-sized Ninja Creamy container. I've added my acai puree packet. Ready? Do some ASMR. I now have some frozen strawberries. Okay. This is very simple. I'm going to add a few of those. I don't know. So I did this once before, and I just did it in a blender, and I really wanted it to be, like, thick. And in that it was not. Like, it was, like, runny, like a smoothie you would drink with a straw. Almost like a Wendy's Frosty, where, like, you could go straw or spoon. But I really want to go, like, I want ice cream, basically. I'm trying to eat ice cream for breakfast and have it be socially acceptable. And when I entered that sort of requirement into ChatGPT or whatever it's called, it told me to make a smoothie bowl. So that's what we're going off of. So I'm just going to go grab a banana. It's a couple steps away. That one. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I found the perfect one. Very ripe. So if anyone has tips on how to make a smoothie bowl not be runny, just let me know. Like, am I supposed to add yogurt or something? Okay, so I've added my banana, my frozen strawberries, and my packet thingy. Now, do I add milk? Will that make it creamier or more runny? Do I have to add some yogurt maybe? Let's add some yogurt. Okay, I hope this is not horrible, but I'm trying. Okay, this is Kirkland, obviously, as is my whole life. Organic Greek yogurt, plain, non-fat. I truly do not understand that. Like how is it non-fat? Like, isn't yogurt like isn't cream like fatty, like in a good way? Okay, I'm adding just a scoop. I feel like a grandma being like, I don't know measurements, just add it. Like, that's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so I'm going to mix it up. There is no liquid in this concoction, but I feel like we'll be fine. Like, it'll all blend. For anyone who hasn't seen a Ninja Creamy at work, basically, you put all the crap in a pint thing, and then you put it in the freezer for 24 hours. So really, it's not the Ninja Creamy that makes ice cream, it's the freezer that makes the ice cream. And then what the Ninja Creamy does is it's essentially like a specific blender for ice cream. And it like kind of mashes it up. So it's really more of a crusher, but it does great work. And I try and find recipes for it, and it's all like protein ice cream. Like, no, where is the like salted caramel with Cool Whip recipe for the Ninja Creamy? That's what I'm looking for. Sorry, more kitchen noises. Okay, so I've added the Greek yogurt, non-fat Kirkland Signature, plain, premium, whatever. I gave it a little bit of a mix. And I don't think I'm going to add any milk because I think that'll make it like runny. If I have to add some milk afterward. Also, I'm really working on the way I pronounce milk. I say milk, like M-E-L-K. And I know that that's incorrect, but I almost don't care. Which, there's power in that. Honestly, if there's words that you pronounce wrong, as long as it's not like someone's name or like something important, like, that's fine. Just own it. Who cares? Okay. I am now putting the top, or like the cover, the lid, on top of the acai thing, or the Ninja Creamy thing, and I'm going to go put this in the freezer, and we'll be right back after this short commercial break. Actually, never mind. I'll just take you with me to the freezer. It's a couple steps away. But again, this is a on-the-go mobile episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. that is the thing with the Ninja Creamy. Like, it says you have to refrigerate everything or freeze everything for 24 hours. I'm not really good at planning. I've talked about this before. Just in general, as you can probably tell, none of these episodes are planned out. But, like, anytime I'm making cookies, which isn't often, but if I find myself making cookies, I feel like anytime it suggests, like, chill these for 2 hours, or, like, let the brownies cool completely before you eat them. Like, yeah, no, that's not going to be my lifestyle. So while it does say the stuff should be frozen for 24, I usually 12 hours is fine. Like, frozen is frozen. And then if it's not the desired result, like, that's more so on me than on the Ninja Creamy community. So I'm not going to give them a bad Yelp review. Okay, let me just clean up oh shoot, see, I walked to the freezer to put the thing away, but I didn't put away my frozen strawberries. This is a nightmare disaster. I bought a Keurig. Okay, so I've been pondering on this for a couple years, really, to get a Keurig. I've used a Keurig a few times, and I thought, this seems fun. So I decided to look into it, and I was able to find one. For anyone, I think people know what a Keurig is, but it's like a coffee machine that uses those little fancy pod things. So I got one of those for $49. I was thinking about it. I was like, should I do it? Should I not? And then I saw that it was $49, and I thought, you know what? Life's short. I should probably drink some water today because I've only drank coffee. Alrighty, so that kind of concludes the mobile section of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I would say I'll listen back to the audio and see how it is and, like, reevaluate if it's, viable. Who cares? It was 10 minutes. It's something fun, something different. Everyone can learn how to make a bad acai bowl. Who doesn't want that? Oh, and then just if anyone was wondering, the toppings that I put on it, because that's the best part. I put these, they're like coconut chips. I get them from Walmart, but I'm sure you could probably get them at any grocery store, especially the very fancy, like a Whole Foods. But they're the Walmart Great Value, like, green brand, and they're like little, like, strips of coconut. Those are very good. I also don't mind, like, a coconut flake, but for some reason the strips are just, I don't know. I like them, okay? And then I'll put some peanut butter. I'll be honest, last time I put some Hershey's, like the Eggies. There's like a Reese's version of peanut butter. It used to be that you could only get like Easter egg candy, during Easter. Seems logical. No, it's just like you can just get it anytime now. Or maybe it has such a long shelf life because it's like not really food that if the store has left over, like they'll just keep selling it till they run out. That's probably more likely. But I'll put some of those, or like any sort of like peanut butter situation. Dried fruit's great. So basically anything from Trader Joe's is good. Trader Joe's has these cinnamon almonds that sometimes I'll either cut up or just literally throw on top. If you wanted a little bit of honey, you could do that. And yeah. But back to my Keurig. Did I tell you I got a Keurig? I got a $50 Keurig. It has not arrived yet, so it could be a scam. It could be just like a picture of a Keurig. I feel like that would happen to me. That hasn't happened in a while, where I've ordered something. I was like, it's so cheap, I need to order this. And then it comes and it's like a keychain of that thing. So we'll see. Maybe I'm due for one of those. But I'm excited. It can do iced coffee. I'll do a whole review. I know the people are desperately waiting for that. My review of 13-year-old products. Basically, if this episode was as is but filmed in 2010 or recorded in 2010, I would be an influencer. I'm a 2010 influencer. And I'm proud of that. The only reason I wasn't a 2010 influencer is because I was 10 in 2010. So I don't know that they should or will allow 10-year-old influencers. Actually, it probably does exist, like in the family vloggers, but I won't get into that. Regardless, instead of drinking my coffee that I'm drinking now, which is $10 pre-bottled cold brew, I'm going to buy a $50 Keurig, and then I'm looking on Amazon for the cheapest version of those little pods, because I think that's where they get you. Like, the machine is cheap, but then the pods are like $82 per pod. And it's like, well, I might as well just be going to, a coffee shop. But we'll see. I'm open. What else did I do this week? Oh, okay. So I don't normally talk about like current events because I'm sort of hoping that one day this whole me talking into my phone thing like really kicks off. And I want people to be able to really listen to any episode, and it's not about me talking about stories from 5 years ago. I just want to admit, I don't actually think that it's going to happen. Like, listen, I've been at this for 2 years, and 3 people listen. I know that I've taken the sadness out of it because I just enjoy it. So just putting that disclaimer there, I don't think I'm going to be. I literally cannot think of one famous podcast, but I'm not going to be them. I know that, but. Just in case, it's kind of fun to keep it random. But the couple things I'm going to talk about are, in my opinion, historical events. So I sometimes make exceptions for that. Also, I feel like I can talk about whatever I want, having said all of that. So first thing, apparently, I've heard, I feel like they've announced this 1,700 times, and then a couple years will pass, and then they'll announce it again. But apparently they're doing Shrek 5. If there is a Shrek 5, I will be camped outside the theater 2 weeks before in my Shrek tent with my Shrek Crocs, wearing full green, with, if it's March, a Shamrock Shake. If it's not March, my own Shamrock Shake, like a DIY version. I can maybe make one on the Nobody Asked for This podcast live episode on the go. I'm going to obviously put it in my Shrek cutlery from my Happy Meal that got recalled. Do you remember when the last Shrek movie came out, like Shrek 4? Probably in 2010. So I'm really this whole episode is 2010. But they made these like fancy cups. And I feel like there's no way they were actually glass, but I kind of feel like in my 10-year-old brain I thought they were. Like, to me, they were like the fine china. And it had a Shrek cup, a Puss in Boots cup, a Fiona cup, and then maybe another one. Or obviously a Donkey cup, I'm sure. I collected them all. I made my poor mother go to every single McDonald's that was around us at the time. And I did not stop until I had them all. I want to say that this is where my obsession with limited edition things started, where if I see limited edition on like a package, whether it be like a bag of chips or even like a fast food thing, like I have to get it. Like I get nervous and I lose sleep at night. The year I missed the limited edition candy cane ice cream something from a certain fast food restaurant, it was literally the worst Christmas ever because I knew like I'm not going to get there in time. Suffice to say, I'm actually getting better on that. I've opted out of a few limited edition things recently that I was proud of myself. It was a point of pride. And I let sort of the pride cover the sadness of like not participating. I'll unpack all of this in therapy one day. But for now, what I will say is I had all of those Shrek cups and then they got recalled for like BPA something or other. I'm actually going to Google it because I'm sure this happened to other people. Shrek. And I think I kept them. I don't think I gave them back. Shrek McDonald's cup. Because, like, if you don't use it, it's not going to hurt you. Shrek McDonald's cup recall. McDonald's Shrek-themed drinking cups, released in 2010, there we go, was recalled due to safety concerns. This was due to the presence of cadmium. It looks like cardamom, but it's not. Cadmium. Cadmium. Now, I have an English degree, and I've never heard of this word. A toxic heavy metal used as a pigment in the cup. So, like, something to do with the, like, the color of, like, the font, or maybe. Cadmium poses serious health risks, especially when consumed or inhaled in large quantities. Okay. So, that's upsetting. I did know this, but I feel like I'm learning this all over again. Were they glass? Yeah, it says glasses. Can something be called a glass? Like, hey, can you pass me a glass if it's not glass? So many stories. Anyway, I think I have them, like, somewhere in a box. Obviously didn't use them because the cadmium. Also, maybe I did use them and, like, that's to blame. Like, can I be enrolled in some sort of, like, a class action lawsuit wherein I'm, like, one of 900 million plaintiffs and then get, like, 3 cents after all of the money's divided? That would be fun, but I don't want to delay the release of Shrek 5. So whatever needs to happen, let's do that to get to Shrek 5. I don't think they've released a date, but I swear 10 years ago they said there was going to be a Shrek 5. Maybe they were just playing with us. Movies take freaking forever. And then you think about TV shows, and yes, they take a long time. I don't even watch Stranger Things, but Stranger Things, I feel like every 2 or 3 years, 8 episodes will come out. But those 8 episodes are the lengths of movies. So they're essentially making 8 movies in 2 years, and then Shrek can't even make 1 movie in 15 years. I'll give Shrek a bit of a pass because, Shrek personally, the ogre, because, listen, he's a landowner. He just had those triplets. He's busy, okay? Why did my toilet just flush? I didn't do that. Did that pick up on the audio? One sec. Let me check. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. I think my house is haunted. It's probably Shrek. Regardless, I'll give the Shrek creators a pass if Shrek 5 is good. And I feel like it can't not be. Also, no offense if anyone who was involved in the 4th Shrek movie is around, but, it wasn't as good. It just wasn't. Shrek 1... classic. Shrek 2, one of the few sequels that are better than the original. Shrek 3, impeccable. I gotta watch all of these again. They're so good. Shrek 4, it's not bad, but it wasn't anything to write home about. Until the glasses, and then I was like, oh, you know what? This kind of saved the movie for me. And then they took them away. That was brutal. Can I honestly say, and I am so lucky to say this, so blessed. That was top 20 worst days of my life when I found out that my Shrek glasses, I wasn't, even if I kept them, I wouldn't be able to use them. And that's a lucky place to be, top 20 worst things to happen to you, but still, not fun. Especially after I went all through that work. It would basically be people going on Amazing Race, finally winning. You slept in airports, you were in these countries that you've never been to before, maybe never get to be to again, and all you did was run. You probably are now, estranged from whoever your partner was because you hate each other so much because you've been running around and you're oh my God, Bob, how dare you not know to, tie the lace on the left before tie the thing on the right. We could have went to, Spain, but we got eliminated in Brazil. Actually, I don't know how international they go. I've seen Amazing Race Canada, and no offense, but similar to most Canadian reality shows, it's a bit lower budget, where the season I watched, or parts of it, was they were just going around Canada. But I think in the American one, they go more internationally. But you could not pay me to do Amazing Race. You could not pay me to do Amazing Race. And even people who are oh, it's great. You get to travel. You get to see the world. It's literally the worst part of traveling. I've done no international travel besides, driving across the border to go to Trader Joe's. That's kind of the height of it. But I just can't imagine, I can't imagine that's a fun experience. I would actually wish to get eliminated. If I liked where we were, first of all, I wouldn't make it past the first round. They'd say, ready, set, go, everyone would start running, and I would be walking. But once we finally made it to somewhere good, I would get eliminated so that I could stay there. I'm hearing a bug. Does anyone else hear that? Oh no, maybe it's not a leaf blower. What's the thing with the grass? Where it's not a lawnmower, but it's it's when you get a haircut and then they come through with that the little blade to fix your sideburns. It's that, but for the grass. What is that called? A trimmer? I'm not sure. Anyway. Thesis, Shrek 5 is coming. Couldn't get me to do Amazing Race. Still salty about the cardamom in the glasses. Okay, second historical event. Oh, also, 1.5 historical event. Apparently, they're also doing a donkey movie. Again, these movie people, I'm not getting my hopes up. Until I'm in the theater with a large Diet Coke, huge bucket of popcorn that cost me $50, and snuck in snacks from the dollar store, maybe a Red Vines or something. Until that is my reality, I'm not believing it. Because they're going to announce it now, nothing's going to happen for 2 years, and then by the time I'm a famous podcaster, they're going to announce it again. I'm not falling for it. Call me when you're in the booth send me a picture. I don't know who voices Shrek, but send me a picture of the guy with his headphones on, in his sweatpants, in the recording studio, like saying, I am an ogre. Like, until that's happening, it's like, don't tell me. The such early announcements for things make no sense. Like, tell me, even a year before, I don't need to know that Shrek 5 is coming out in 2028 or that Avatar 7 is going to be out in 2034. I don't need to plan that much in advance. I do actually have, while I did talk about in the beginning how I have no planning skills, I have enough planning skills that, like, give me 6 months. Give me 6 months. I don't need to know 7 years ahead of time. And I understand that they have to plan 7 years ahead of time because, like, it takes long to make movies. But that has nothing to do with me. That is not my business. Just saying. Just like because then when the dates change or, like, something goes awry, then you have to, come back to us with your tail between your legs and saying, Avatar 900 is actually releasing in 2042. Like, I would have never known that it wasn't originally supposed to come out in 2042. Call me when it's done. Call me when you've taken the SIM card out of the camcorder or the memory card or whatever. I'd imagine they have a bit more of a intricate system than a SIM card, or a memory card, but you know what I mean. Like, call me when we're good. Show me a trailer 6 months before, and I'll see you in the theater. Okay, I do just want to end off on an interesting story. Now, again, this is sort of like world news, so I feel it's a bit more, like, not really, like, it's sort of just like history, or will be. So the Olympics this year are happening, apparently in Paris. I just learned this. I have also sort of lost track, like, with the whole COVID thing, like, the 2020 Olympics were happening in, like, 2021. So then, like, the Summer Olympics were, like, technically the next year, when normally you have 2 years in between. And then I feel like there hasn't been an Olympics in, like, 3 years. Like, when was the last? I think I was just tapped out of the last Olympics. When was the last? The last Olympics would have been... Is it no, it's a Summer Olympics. Huh? What year is it? Aren't the... Okay, wait. What was the last Olympics? Ask Siri, what was the last Olympics? The Summer Olympic Games in 2021. Right, because that was supposed to be 2020. But when was the last Winter Olympics? Did we skip a Winter Olympics? Let's see. The last Winter Olympics was 2022. Where were oh, yes, Beijing. Yes, okay, I remember that. That was 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I remember that happening, but I don't remember that happening at all, which is... Anyway. I recently heard that the Paris Olympics, part of, like, the water sports or whatever, and I haven't heard this, like, reported widely, so maybe this is breaking news. But not really, because if it was breaking news, then, like, no one would have talked about it before. Anyway, I heard that there's a river in Paris called, like, the Seine. I did take French in school, so I'm essentially fluent in an English-French hybrid. I know, like, 4 words in French and then can kind of, like, figure out the rest. There's, like, kind of pivot. But either way, there's a river in France, which I believe is by the Eiffel Tower, where they want to do a lot of, like, the water sports. I don't know. So, like, is probably not swimming. Swimming they probably do, like, indoors. But, like, water, polo, canoeing, or whatever, like, the kind of the Olympic water sports. I can't fully 100% name one that I know they do, but I just know that this is a thing. And apparently this river is, like, notoriously filthy. Like, it's, like, not blue waters at all. I don't know if it's a man-made river or water, if it, like, feeds into an ocean, but it's a river that kind of goes down the center of Paris. From my understanding, I could be wrong on all counts, but this is what the people tell me. And apparently people were like, okay, like if you're going to have the Olympics like in this river, like can it not be infested? Like apparently it's like there's E. coli and like a bunch of fish, which fish are fine. Fish are friends, not food. Fish are price. But apparently it's just like not good water, like you can't be swimming in it. So people were like, are you going to fix this river? And the French people who are in charge of doing so were like, yeah, we're going to clean it, it's going to be fine, and we're going to make it so clean to the point where like the president and a couple of the Olympic Committee members are going to like at this date and time, like they're going to go into the river. I heard some reports saying that they were going to drink the water and some people saying that they were just going to go for a little dip. So it comes out, they said, we've cleaned the river, we fixed it, we've spent like billions of dollars to, I guess, reroute, like not the plumbing, but like, because at first I heard you spent billions of dollars to fix the water, like just go in there with like one of those trash picker-uppers or like the thing that Katniss used to clean the water in the Hunger Games, like iodine drops or whatever. Like this does not need to be $1 billion worth of work, but I guess they like used some of that money to like reroute the pipes or something from not like having basically all the crap literally and figuratively end up in this river. So the people of Paris or France were like, okay, listen, and I'm sure this happens with a lot of Olympics. They're like, okay, so you had the money to fix it and didn't fix it until it like served you, but like they just let people live in filth forever. So I totally get the frustration from that end. Like if you had the money, if you had like over $1 billion, one, maybe use it for something else than just cleaning the water so that you can have the Olympics. And two, if you had the capability of fixing the situation before, why didn't you fix it before? So I understand the frustration, but I guess they announced that like it was clean, it was all good. And people were looking at it like, no, there's still like dirt and trash. Like you can't really lie. And I'm not saying they lied, I don't know the full story, but you can't really pretend that you cleaned water when you can literally see through water and still see like Coke bottles floating, you know? And like dirt. And obviously it's not going to be perfect, like it's still the water. But I guess when the president and the Olympic Committee said, we're going to take a dip, we're going to swim, I think it was supposed to be like last Sunday, there were people that were trying to plan a poo protest in where they would poo in the water so that the people testing it or like taking a dip would then have to essentially be in their poo. Now this sounds, and there were also websites where if you lived kind of a bit further out, like it would tell you what time to make your deposit, so to speak, so that it would float to the part of the river that they were going to be. Now, my first thought is bad planning on the Olympic Committee to release a date and time that they were going to do this, because then people know exactly according to science and the wind and the weather forecast when to make a deposit. Now, two, the people doing the protest, I understand the frustration, but like you pooing in the water like only makes it worse. So like there's a lot going on there. I'm not really picking a side, just kind of pointing out all the points of view. But I believe this water tasting was, I don't know if it was a tasting or they were going to go swimming. I believe that has since been postponed, which like, yeah, probably wise. So I'm going to keep my sort of ear to the ground in the French ongoings of this river and kind of see what happens if there is a tasting, if there's not. But I just know, well, it sounds like I don't have all my facts straight because I don't. I will get all my facts straight and keep presenting you updates until the Olympics, which I believe are in about a month or so. So that's that. Thank you for bearing with me on this mobile episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I am going to get going. I hope you all have a great day. If you like what you heard, you can go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com and you can subscribe on there. You can listen to all the episodes there. You can get links to our Apple podcasts, our Spotify link, all of that. Just go to the website. Everything you need is there. I really thank you for taking the time to listen if you have. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope you eat acai bowls or not, if that's not your thing. I hope you use a Keurig if you have. If not, all good. I hope you maybe have a barbecue. That seems fun. And yeah, I will talk to you all next week. See ya.